Are we really window shopping at Dollar Tree? Yes, sometimes. Sometimes I am really window shopping at Dollar Tree. Even as a lower middle class person, I am window shopping at Dollar Tree because the prices are rising constantly. The inventory is changing. Dollar Tree is morphing into more of like a Dollar General, kind of like a Big Lots. That's the feel I'm getting right now. Is that Dollar Tree feels like Big Lots. Now that Big Lots is gone in my area, they went out of business. There is like that space for that kind of store. It's just sad that we no longer have this place where we could go and be like, I only have $1, I can get something. You can't really get anything for $1 at Dollar Tree anymore. You can still get things for $1 in other places. There are still dollar sections in other stores, or you might get coupons and things like that that bring the price down to even less than $1. So I'm going to branch out and show you some other videos in the future of getting really good deals, um, finding those frugal little, you know, bits where we can actually make ends meet and feel good about ourselves and not feel like we are impoverished going to a bargain store. Going to a thrift store and feeling impoverished is absolutely humbling. Um, Not that I feel like I needed to be humbled because I consider myself pretty down to earth and I grew up in real poverty. Like I got most of my clothes from the freebie, which the freebie was something they would do it for low income, lower ranking military personnel and their families could get clothing that the officers and higher ranking infantry would donate used clothing and books and stuff too. And I loved the freebie. And honestly, if they had one now that I could go to, I would still like to go. Um, but I remember wearing clothes to school and having kids recognize them. And if you've ever experienced something like that, go ahead and pop a comment. It was embarrassing because my bully at school actually recognized she had like donated a fur coat. And I mean, it's not like an old lady's kind of fur coat. It was like a little kid's fur coat. Um, and it was really adorable. And my family never would have bought it for me. And PETA would not approve. But I wore it to school and I was so excited to wear it to school. And of course, it was really unique. So the girl recognized it and she said, "Oh, I bet you got that from the freebie because I donated it to the freebie." And that was embarrassing. But I still wore it to school. And I was like, you know what, girl? I don't care. I was like, well, I don't know why you got rid of it. It's so nice. Thanks for donating it. And that's like, kindness definitely puts people in their space. So she just kind of like, carried on and didn't really say much more about it because I was like, oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you donated it because it's totally my style. I don't know why you got rid of it. Um, but if there was a Dollar Tree when I was a kid, I would have been so excited. Um, it was just going to this. We used to do like a lot of, I wouldn't call it window shopping. We would go places and we'd see things we wanted and we'd go, okay, I want that for Christmas. It wasn't all about here now, right now, no waiting. That's the one thing I really liked about the Dollar Tree was because I could go in and there was nothing in the store I couldn't afford. There was nothing. There was this sense of like, I'm well off, right? I'm not well off, but like you have this feeling when you would go to the Dollar Tree, if you had $5 in your pocket, you would be like, there's nothing in the store that's going to tell me I'm not sufficient. There's nothing in this store that's going to tell me that I have to go without. That's not true now. And I cannot bring my children to Dollar Tree with me because if I do, I have to tell them no, and they're used to hearing yes at this store. Um, Going to this store with a child um, is sad. Hearing kids crying for stuff in the Dollar Tree is really sad. That was the one thing I really appreciated about Dollar Tree was I used to be able to bring my kids, especially my older kids when they were little. And, when I was a first year teacher, like my take home was $1,700 a month after taxes. My student loans at that time were like 360. My rent was over 700. My car insurance was over 100. My gas was like a couple hundred. Um, like my cell phone, AT&T, horrible, was like 127. Um, I remember that because they might have put me to collections or something. So I was just like the prices back then. I had like very little at the end of the month, like at the end of all my bills, very, 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 very little. But I could take my children and I could say, you can both. At the time, I didn't have a younger one yet. I was like, you can both pick out 2 or 3 items that you really want. You can do like one food item and 2 toys, or 2 food items and 1 toy. Um, but get a snack and get something that you want to play with. And my kids would find something. My older son loved Hot Wheels. They still have Hot Wheels for like $1 some places at the checkout lines. Not here. They're $1.25. And they're not always Hot Wheels. Sometimes they're like the off brand and the wheels fall off. But sometimes they have Hot Wheels and they're still usually $1.25 if you can find them. And if you can kind of like gear your kids' interest a little bit towards things that you can afford, like Roblox is expensive because they want Robux. And it is a sinkhole for money, because they're going to want to have like the account, and the account costs $20 a month about, and then that like doubles your points every time you buy points. So you always want to have the membership. So that's $20 a month plus whatever other points you buy. And it's virtual, right? So they're like buying virtual clothing or skins or something. I don't know how it works. I don't play games like that. But Robux for Roblox is expensive. And it's like basically virtual, which I think of as you're wasting it's my imagination, but I'm like, if it's something virtual, I don't feel like it's real, like, because it's virtual, right? So it's like you can't hold it, you can't touch it. It's too abstract for me. Um, but nowadays it's like, yeah, there are some items I could say, hey, come with me, you have $5, but they're gonna see so many items that they can't have. And they're gonna have that feeling, which I mean it builds character. Come on. That's why we're such hams, right? We have such good personalities because we didn't get everything we wanted. So we had to use our imagination. But there is a point where you want so many things that you can't have any of them. Or you're like, this food is $1.25, but the one I wanted was $3.50. That one's really good. This one tastes like crap. Okay. Excuse my language. I really do like these here. And you get it's like 18 little packages. They're tiny, but they're adorable and they're delicious. And you do get 18. So you could do two, let's say one or two in your kid's lunch at school, and they will feel really special. They are really, really flavorful. And I just would have like one, and I've lost over 70 pounds. So it's 45 calories per packet. So that's 90 if you get two. So not too crazy. But if you buy a whole package of gummy bears and someone eats a half a package and it costs $4, you spent $2 for that serving. Okay. And then you're going to turn around and pay money for a weight loss program and weight loss devices and paying for advice or something. So, or for a gym. So mind your calories, not just your wallet. And the seed packets here, I do like to buy seeds from Dollar Tree from time to time. And I'm not really going to do that anymore because I am starting a seed company and I buy my seeds in bulk. And now that I've been buying them in bulk, like even if I just break even, I will be happy because I um am a Baker Creek seed company addict. And I'm also a True Leaf Market addict, an Everwild addict, and Am I Gardener addict. And yeah, so I've got these seed companies I really like, and I will even go on like Etsy and buy stuff if other companies don't have it. I'm always into trying to plant something that I didn't before, but I always want to still plant what I like. I love lupin. If you're going to buy any seeds here, I would definitely do the lupin because they are nitrogen fixers and they are either at least biennial, I think perennial. So sometimes it will say biennial. Some lupins are perennial. Like the same plant will grow back many years. I have several of those growing in my yard that I planted from seed, from Dollar Tree seeds. I actually have like a wildflower mix. The wildflower mixes, by the way, do contain foxglove, which people will buy foxglove flowers. Be careful with them because they handling them is not good for your heart. So if you're gonna grow them or sweet peas, do not eat them. Call them something else around your kids, because if you call them sweet peas and when they see the pods, they might try to eat them and they're poisonous. I would not grow sweet peas if you have children, grandchildren, kids walking past your yard. Like, grow actual sugar snap peas because they look like food and they are food. Um, and you can get a lot more seeds way cheaper. A lot of different plants, edible plants like squash and beans, have beautiful flowers. I love to grow fava beans. If you can't afford buying beans here, buy organic heirloom beans from whatever grocery store you go to. If you can't find organic heirloom, make sure it says non GMO, and you can literally buy your food, eat your food, save a small handful, and plant your food. The first time I ever planted fava beans was from grocery store beans. The first time I planted garbanzo beans was from grocery store beans, and it was because for the garbanzo beans, it was because I was prepping and I came across a bag of garbanzo beans. They were really dry and they're hard as a rock. And they were like 5 years expired. And I thought, okay, I'm at worst, it's composting if I plant these. So I planted them as a perimeter around multiple raised garden beds. The soil was soil that basically a building next door was like excavating, and my ex went over and like took all the yucky soil that they were throwing away, and he filled up my raised beds with that horrible soil. And it was bad. It was bad. But some plants like bad soil. Nasturtium like bad soil. I decided to go ahead and plant those garbanzo beans around all my raised beds to improve the soil quality because they're legumes, which are nitrogen fixers, taking nitrogen out of the air, and they put it into these little nodules in their roots that have a symbiotic relationship with a certain bacteria that brings nitrogen into the soil, and it helps all the plants that live there, or all the plants that are you're growing there, right? It's really awesome. And the garbanzo beans grew. They were over 5 years past expiration, and they grew. Which also, in my mind, I think if they grew, they're alive, which means they're still edible. So that bag of garbanzo beans was definitely, I didn't have to waste it. I could have just had we could have eaten it. Um, but I went ahead and planted them, and we ate them as immature beans. So with garbanzo beans, not all beans are like this. Most beans you have to actually soak overnight, rinse them, and then cook them. It's not just to make them soft, you guys. A lot of people don't realize they have like a lot of gastric distress after eating dry beans, um, because you need to soak them and then rinse them off. And that's because they have basically toxins. They are toxic, and we make them edible by treating them in a certain way. So when you soak them, it softens them, and then also the toxins that are in the beans go into the water, and when you dump it out and rinse it, you're actually getting rid of that. And then you cook it for a long time, and that makes it digestible. So if you're getting really, really gaseous after eating beans, you might not have prepared them properly. So that's just a little morsel of not necessarily experience because I don't do a lot of cooking from dry beans. Once I have beans, they're so beautiful. Am I crazy? I like to put my beans in glass jars and then I just keep planting them over and over again. When I eat a bean, I'm like, that bean could have been a whole plant. A whole plant, and it was beautiful. One of the things I love about garbanzo beans is you can eat them in immature. When I eat it something immature, I know, like if you're eating a cucumber, I can eat the seeds because I'm like, that seed wasn't viable. But if I have like a full squash, I have a hard time eating the seeds because I know each one of them would have grown another plant. It seems wasteful to me. I know that I know it's bordering on a different kind of eating, which is kind of like a vegan. It's like way extreme. It's like where you only eat something that's like about to decay and you won't eat the seeds. It's like a whole level of like it's too extreme for me. But my brain says don't eat the seeds. Um Plant them even though seeds are highly nutritious. So like if I'm going to buy seeds to eat, I usually have to buy them already cooked, like already processed because then I can't just turn around and grow them. Because if I could grow them, I will grow them. Like I have lots of experiments. So when I do my seed company stuff, I'm buying really high quality seeds. But every time I go somewhere and there's like organic this or that and it's like non-GMO, I'm like, "Hey, I wonder if I can plant that." And guess what? 99% of the time it works. The one time it didn't, it was I want to say it was cardamom. Maybe it was cardamom. I had gone to like a halal market and I'm a Christian. I went there anyway. But I like people, even if I'm not that religion. Um, so I like to go to a lot of different ethnic markets and stores and I like different cultures. And so I also like to try new things you know, that's not always try new things. I like to sometimes try new things. And I think I bought they were either cardamom or something similar, started with a C, and it was like an herb and it came in a pod. And I cracked them open and I tried planting all the seeds. Well, I didn't realize that they are eaten at an immature stage. So, not knowing that, I wasted a ton of money because they're very expensive. But that was like the one time I had a fail with planting seeds from a store. Every other time, as long as it says raw or like if it's uncooked, it's not dried at a really high temperature. I have gotten crazy things to sprout and grow and sometimes be absolutely beautiful. For example, fenugreek. Um, People from India call it methi, and it smells incredible. Like you open the seed packet and it smells like maple syrup. I think they would be amazing in potpourri. Like literally, fill a little sachet. I feel so special. Make a little sachet out of tissue paper, or something, and put in a tablespoon of fenugreek seeds, and it will smell like breakfast on a Saturday morning. Like it's amazing. It smells wonderful. They make a drink out of it. It's called methi, right? And so what they do is they put I'm not sure how much, but maybe a couple tablespoons of the methi, the fenugreek seeds into hot water and let it set. And then they drain out the seeds and drink the liquid. I can't kill my seeds, so I can't do the hot water. So what I will do is I'll put it in cold water, and I'll put it in the refrigerator and I'll shake it up, whatever. Drain the water out and drink the water. Maybe like warm it up and make a tea. I might even add some other flavors to it. And then I save the seeds by planting them because they've soaked overnight, which means the outside of the seed coat is going to soften so they sprout easier. But if I use hot water, certain seeds actually need to have hot water. by the way, but not all. Most of them, it would kill them. So I don't use hot water with the fenugreek. I use cold water, but I leave it longer in the refrigerator, shake it up, strain it out, heat up the water separately from the seeds, drink that, but then I take the seeds and I plant them. And what's cool about that is that you get the foliage from the fenugreek is also edible. And so if you leave it long enough, you're going to get more fenugreek seeds, which smell like maple syrup. It's delicious. It's for all your senses. Like, it's beautiful. Um, the plant is beautiful. The seeds smell great. You could use it for potpourri. You could use it for tea. You can eat the greens in soups, salads, whatever. Um, and the first time I ever planted them, it was because I had gone to a, an Indian restaurant that had a Indian grocery inside of it, like a couple aisles. And I saw them and I was like, wait, it says it's raw. Maybe I can try planting them. And so I bought them. I didn't know what they smelled like. I opened up the package and I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like, dill seeds also smell very good. Dill smells incredible. Um, and I'm all about like scent. So definitely try planting seeds from your grocery store. It's so crazy that I'm like about to start a seed company and I'm giving all these hints on like how not to have to buy seeds. But it's really not about a profit for me. It's I had this moment when I on a day that I planted 17 fruit and nut trees. I was like I had this moment where I felt like it was like I want to come to Jesus. God was in my heart. It was like, this is your legacy. This is what you're meant to do. You are going to help people feed themselves. You are going to leave this legacy. Some of these trees are going to live hundreds of years. And like, this is what you're meant to do. You are meant to help every household have a fig tree. Um, and like, I do fig cuttings and stuff like that. And I make them really cheap. Like, $5 for a cutting or 5 for 20, and almost all of them root and grow into a tree. And so, and I for my seeds, I do them basically 12 for $10 for different varieties, and that's basically like 80 cents a packet. And I put a lot of seeds in there compared to the Dollar Tree, and I felt those packets and I was like, that's barely anything. And then why would I tell people how to do this even cheaper? Because I want it to be accessible. I don't want anyone to not be able to garden because they can't afford it. Everybody should have a garden. Every single person should have a garden. It is therapy. It is it is time for reflection and prayer and talking to God and getting fresh air, vitamin D from the sun that you need. Get out of your house and grow your own food and enjoy life. You need to have a garden. Please, whatever you do, start now.
So that was really fun going around the Dollar Tree. And I didn't go down all the aisles. There was lots of boxes because they had new inventory. But the $9 and $10 items really kind of put me off. Um, they're not Dollar Tree type items. They're nicer, like nice board games, nice things, But when I go to the Dollar Tree, I want to get a really good deal. I don't want to spend $10 for one item. But I wanted to show you that these little candies, they're really small. And even the little bears inside of them, they're really tiny too. I'll show you. So they're so cute. They're really tiny. And so it really helps me with portion control. I have lost over 70 pounds and 6 pant sizes. And so I'm not trying to gain any weight back. But I found that when I have what I want, but I just have a little bit of what I want, it's very satisfying. And these are very flavorful. They don't leave me feeling like I didn't have something, even though it's a tiny, tiny package. They even smell really good. And I eat a lot of fruit, so I'm not low carbing. I'm not having, usually don't have high fructose corn syrup, and I'll read the ingredients in this. It has corn syrup, sugar, water, gelatin, citric acid, natural and artificial flavors, pectin, vegetable oil, coconut, canola, and carnauba leaf wax to prevent sticking, the colors, and a trivial amount of fat. So it has my no list. I don't have corn syrup in my diet. But this is so tiny. This is 14 grams. It is 0.6 of 1 ounce. So it's very, very small. And I feel that that's a trivial amount of food. But it feels like I have something. On the opposite side, if you don't want to have this kind of junk, you can get like the gummy vitamins. And it also makes me feel like I'm having a treat. They're pretty expensive. They're called like Grune or something like that. They don't taste as good as this, but it does still give you the kind of sense of like you had something chewy. That's a consistency thing when you're dieting. Say these only have 45 calories. It's very not very much food, but it gives you that feeling like you had something, like a treat. I was so excited about the potato skins. I ripped them open a little too crazy. But these are the TGI Fridays. And I was like, you know what? I think they were $1.50. Jalapeno cheddar. The other one had pork, so I didn't get that one. And I obviously already tried it because I was like, I need to try this. And didn't have lunch. So 140 calories, but there's 4 servings. So you have to make sure that you don't eat more than a serving. That's how I've been losing weight, you guys, is that I've been watching my serving sizes, and I eat one meal, like one solid meal a day. It's usually dinner, and I have it early, usually around 5 or 6, not as late as 7. If I'm having something at 7 or 8, it would be just maybe like a banana. And everyone in my family has always said, don't have bananas because of sugar. I have been eating mandarin oranges, apples, bananas for the last year, and I've lost 70 pounds. So I don't believe that anymore. But usually when I have a sweet tooth, I just have like a little mandarin orange. And then this has 15 carbs. I'm not really watching my carbs, but I do mind that, 140 calories if you're having a fourth of a bag, okay? If you had half a bag, it'd be 280, okay? But I tried them, and I'm not hating them. They're so cute. They're really good. If you low carb, it's really hard to get that crunchy, salty, crunchy consistency, like, and the chewy, like, those two, the mouthfeel, the chewy and the crunchy, that's kind of hard to replicate. I have found some cool ways of, like, replacing things if I was low carbing, and eventually when I get to I don't really have a goal weight, and I've before had really strict goal weights, and then I was like, oh, I didn't make it yet. I failed, My actual first goal weight was to lose 10% of my body weight, and then I surpassed that. I think I'm at 27% of my body weight. So I have fun. I have treats. It's my ex-husband's day with my son, and so I'm alone, and I went shopping, did a little shopping trip, and I'm having a snack. So it's not bad. Really good. And I don't have TGI Fridays by me, so nice. And I'm losing weight anyway. Don't judge me. 70 pounds in a year. Come on. I'm doing good. And you are too. Even just existing. You're doing good. Hang in there. Be good, be sweet. Grow garden if you want to eat. And I'll see you next time.
This is Crybabies Homestead. Crybabies Homestead. We like to grow, we like to go